everyone, welcome back to another video. And so today we're continuing on with our Heavensward walkthrough. We're almost done with the main scenario for Heavensward, at least through the initial patch. So if you remember last time, we ended up running through the Great Global Library. We found the information we needed so that we can build the etheric ram, which can get us through to Azys Lla. So we have just headed back from the library. We're about to speak with Master Matoya one more time before we head back to Ishgard. So let's just dive straight on into it. Okay, so here we are back inside the cave, and I ended up changing Claire's outfit again. Hope you don't mind. I really like this one. I think she looks fantastic for this one. Okay, so Master Matoya, an eye for ether. Matoya's gaze is firmly fixed upon her tome.
I had not thought to behold this tome again. There. It is deciphered. Now your friend should be able to make sense of the contents.
I wish all of books were like that. It was so easy.
That said, it's one thing to understand the workings of the etheric converter, and another to actually make it work. You do realize how much ether is required.
Sid is keenly aware of the energy dilemma. His airship is by no means large, and it can only bear a limited quantity of crystals.
If only we had white aurosite in the etheric siphon.
Alas, Minfilia is missing along with both artifacts, and Moonbreeder is gone.
Yeah, it's funny we never hear about that again.
Would that there were another ready wellspring of energy for us to draw upon.
Why did it not occur to us before? We already have what we need. The Eye! It has been drawing ether into itself for as long as the Great Worms have lived. It is a veritable wellspring of energy.
It might just suit our needs. But is this energy something that can be harnessed at will?
I believe so, with the aid of the Azure Dragoon of Ishgard.
Well,
Then it is settled. Let us return to the Holy See at once.
oh my god, I had never really realized how short she was.
Stola, wait. When did the light fade from your eyes?
I might have known that it would not escape your notice. It has been this way since I returned from the life stream. An after effect of the teleportation magic I invoked, most like.
They are called forbidden spells for a reason. What were you thinking, girl?
I have no regrets. I but did what was necessary to preserve the light of hope, to keep my promise to Minfilia. Besides, it afforded me the rare opportunity to wander the ether, a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
I need not tell you that it consumes your very life force to see by sensing the ether around you. Take care of yourself. Do you hear me?
I will, Master Matoya. And thank you.
She would never admit to it, but Master Matoya really does care about Ishgard Lla. I mean, they had like a whole series of quests devoted to that fact, but yeah, Ishgard Lla is slowly burning away her own life force because she can't see normally like she used to. Her eyes are completely blind, so she sees kind of like sensing where everything is by their ether. I guess it's kind of like Toph from The Last Airbender, how she can see through vibrations. It's kind of the same thing, only with ether. And it's slowly burning her life away. As if you can conceal it from her of all people. Pray me no mind, I was but thinking out loud. Thanks to your customary heroic efforts, we now possess the knowledge to build the etheric ram. All that remains is to secure its energy source. Let us hasten back to Ishgard and consult Sir Emmerich regarding the eye. Okay, so we're heading back. I do think that this information is going to come back to us in Endwalker regarding Y'shtola at the very least. I did a video a while ago about my predictions on the death count, and while I don't think that Y'shtola is going to die, I do think that this is really going to be brought up. I think it more likely that at the end of Endwalker, she's probably going to retire because she just can't afford to waste any more of her life force to do her work, basically. I think it would be a really nice thing if, how do we put it? Like, she somehow is able to return to the First. I really don't know how we can manage that, but maybe she uses Flow again and somehow it ends up transporting her back to the First somehow, and she's there on the First, like in body and soul both, so she's just kind of stuck there. There's no way back, so she can kind of retire there and just spend the last few remaining years she has just kind of by living and studying in the First, which I think would be a good thing. And it's not like we'd never see her again, and I'm sure she could still send us messages, like maybe with the Pixies, like with Fair Ul or something like that. So, I mean, if I had to pick an ending for Y'shtola, that would probably be my #1 ending for her. Especially since we'll have Runar taking care of her, so I think that would be great. But that's just me. Hello, Sir Emmerich. Glad to see you're up and about. Ah, you are returned. Sir Emmerich, I am pleased to see that your recovery proceeds apace. May I introduce Y'shtola, a fellow scion of the Seventh Dawn and Archon of Sharlayan. My lord, pray excuse me for foregoing due pleasantries, but we seek your counsel regarding the etheric ram. Though we now possess the knowledge to build such a device, we yet lack an appropriate source of energy with which to power it. We believe, however, that Ishgard may possess the solution to our problem. Are you causing trouble, kitty? You need not apologize, my lady, for eager am I to learn of your progress. Please, tell me of this energy source that you believe we possess. And you are certain that the eye can lend its power to Master Matoya's etheric converger? At Estinian's command, yes. Very well, I shall speak with him. I thank Sir Emmerich. Nay, my friend, 'tis I who should thank you, as should every Ishgardian. You labor in our name, with nary a care for your own safety. Let us next speak with Sid. He will doubtless be eager to begin work on the etheric ram. I shall personally relay your proposal to Estinian, and that which you may ask is possible, you may be assured of his cooperation. My thanks again, Claire. I really don't think it would be difficult. I'm glad that you and yours are safe. That's all you have to say to us? Alright. But yeah, I have a feeling that Estinian would probably have leapt at the chance, even if we didn't need the eye. Okay, so Sid should still be around here. So we're heading down to the final few moments of Heavensward, which is, again, a great game. They really kicked up the Final Fantasy XIV up several notches with this game. I mean, I won't say A Realm Reborn was bad, it just kind of not as good, I guess. Bit of sleep depression won't kill me, I suppose, but if it does, well, then I'll have all the sleep I want, and the joke will be on Biggs. I never thought of it like that, but that's so true. What do you think? Looks like a different ship, doesn't she? I don't know, she looks the same to me. That's just me. Is it different? I'm sorry, it looks the same to me. Maybe a little bit different. Ah, you're back! The preliminary work on the Enterprise is more or less finished. Tell me you found a way to build the etheric ram. Greetings, Sid. It has been a while. This tome contains the fruits of my former master's research on a device known as the Etheric Converger. Our RAM should operate on the selfsame principle. Ah, where are my manners? Put a toy like this in my hand and I go off into my own world. Gods, it's good to see you, and bearing a gift besides. A very distracting one, if I might add. If I didn't know better, I'd think it was my name day. But there will be a time for tearful reunions later. I'll make start on the tome right away. So long as I have a grasp of the fundamentals, I should be able to knock something together, which leaves the small matter of the energy source. We believe we found a solution to that problem as well. And here they are now. Really, Justinian, I would have thought that you had changed your armor by now. Pray forgive us our lateness. Power of the Eye is not to be drawn upon lightly, but I believe we have sufficient cause to do so. So this is the fabled Eye. By the 12 it seeds. 'Tis a wonder such power can be contained, much less controlled. Wonder how it looks to her. Boys, our friends have kindly provided all the ingredients. Let's see if we can't make something out of them. You heard the chief. We'll not be resting till the etheric ram is operational. Not one wink of sleep. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Cardi Chocobo. Oh, relax. You guys could probably put it together in about 10 minutes. Which is probably what you do. Okay. So that's done. So what's next? No? Hour of departure. Yes, we're heading to the final series of quests. Given the danger of the task that lies before us, I think it only right that we take a moment or two to bid our friends and allies farewell. Alas, Sid requires my assistance with Master Matoya's rather singular writings. Might I entrust the task of visiting those who will remain behind to you? Okay. So the hour is nigh. Would that I could join you in the coming battle, but with my wounds, I fear I would only be a burden to you. In consorting with the Asians and availing himself of primal powers, my father made himself an enemy of all that is good and right in the world. Do whatever you must to end his madness. May the Fury watch over you. He's such a sweetheart. I don't care what anyone else says. He is a sweetheart, and I love him for it. I mean, it's been said that his his feelings for the Warrior of Light, regardless of gender or race, whatever, which I love, by the way, it borders on romance. And I think that's just why so many people just love him. Why we have so many fan fictions of the Warrior of Light getting together with Sir Emmerich, and I understand. I get it. I love that whole idea. Oh, they really knocked it out of the park with this character. And I have a feeling that my naughty cat is up to something. I keep hearing him opening cupboards, which he can do very well by this point. Hello, Tataru!
So you're off to face the Archbishop then. Please be careful and watch over the others, will you? We've lost too many friends as it is. Some may yet return to us, but I couldn't bear to lose anyone else. I just couldn't. I realize it's asking a lot, but you're the strongest person I know, and I don't think there's anything you can't achieve if you put your mind to it. So please, whatever else happens, keep everyone safe.
Well, we'll try, but we make no promises, especially with Endwalker right around the corner. Tataru, she's kind of like Mother Tataru now. That's how it feels like. She's like our mom, and she's telling us, be careful, don't do anything stupid, but, you know, she knows that's going to happen. Hilda! We'll keep the city in one piece, don't you worry. We don't get up to no mischief while you're gone. Not too much, anyway. If it ain't my old friend Claire, off to face the Archbishop and his cronies, is it? I love to go and give those bastards a good walloping myself. That snake Charlbert's my specialty. But I got to stay here and keep an eye on things. With the Archbishop gone, some of the poor folk might get in their heads to do something stupid like storming the pillars, but blood won't get us what we want, and I need to be around to remind them of that in case they forget. No need to worry about us, anyway. I'll work with Sir Emmerich to preserve the peace. You just concentrate on settling the score with the Archbishop, eh? She's good people. She really is. Alright, and Lucia. That's right, we need to go see Lucia. I am glad that we seem to have reached an understanding with Lucia, because I remember how cold she was before when we first met, but now she's definitely she's definitely warmed up to us. This is it then. Go well, my friend. I shall pray to the Fury for your preservation. Mayhap you think it strange that a daughter of Golemod should pray? I do not blame you. I used to think it passing strange myself. But that all changed when I discovered something dearer to me than mine own life. Thereafter, praying seemed the most natural thing in the world. Prayers are born of heartfelt faith, and manipulating the people's beliefs for his own twisted ends, the Archbishop makes a mockery of their very existence. It cannot be borne. Yeah, that's true. I remember someone saying to me that faith is not like granting wishes. Faith is giving you the strength to get through the hard times. And so that really spoke to me, if I have to be honest. It really did. So I guess that when she did find someone more important to her, then I guess it only becomes natural that you pray for them. Which I never really thought about until I heard that particular line. That's deep. That's really deep. Oh boy. Here we go. Pray be careful out there, Mistress Faye. Mistress Faye, how good of you to pay me a visit. Oh, it's Daddy Four Toms. It feels as if it were only yesterday when we first met here in this chamber. You came to us a fugitive seeking asylum, and now you bear the hopes of our nation upon your shoulders. I love this guy so much. I really do. He would not have told you, but when Haurchefant begged me to accept you into our household, he described you as hope incarnate. At the time, I assumed that he was waxing lyrical, as was his wont, but I have come to see that he simply spoke the truth. You are hope, a shining beacon that shall guide the people of Ishgard through the raging snowstorm. Make it harder for us, why don't you? A memento. Were my son here, he would have wished to fight at your side in the battle to come. Take care, my friend, and return to us. Oh, that is so sweet. He spoke the truth, yeah. He's by far one of the best characters in the game. This is a black day for House Fort Toms. Yes, it is. Okay, let's head back. So many good characters introduced in this game. So many. Okay. Bits. Looks like we're ready to go. Oh, I just realized something. This is gonna be one of those episodes where we're in for another emotional upheaval before the end. Oh no. I'm not looking forward to that. Count Edmund bequeathed to you Lord Hoshapun's shield? Noble gesture. We bear the hopes and dreams of full many souls. Let their faith in us be a source of strength and courage as we face our remaining trials. Hope and kindle the first flight of the Excelsior. Game will soon be afoot, and Alphanode is keen to assemble the players. Work on the Enterprise is nearly complete, yet let Yastola know when to make ready.
Until but recently, the Ishgardians have kept their doors firmly shut to outsiders. But thanks to you, we have found in them stout allies with whom we may fight to secure the future of the realm. Truly, you are the beacon of hope towards which all men are drawn.
Spare us the hyperbole. 'Tis not for praise that we fight.
Oh? In light of all we have achieved, I felt it only meet to express my gratitude.
All that we have achieved? Spoken like a true outsider. Until the war is over, we have achieved nothing. The coming battle is a chance to excise the root of this conflict. And by my hand it shall be done. Then you may speak of achievement.
I love Estinian too.
'Twas not mine intent to make light of your struggle. If I have given offense, then I apologize. But if I may speak freely, you would do well to be wary of the Eye. Even now, it burns with insatiable hatred, watching unblinking for a sign of weakness. Should you falter for so much as a moment, it will surely consume you.
Save your concern. I will consume the Eye ere I let it consume me.
Jay. Been a while.
"12 be praised. Thou hast not yet set forth. Cross sand and snow have I journeyed, that I might deliver this gift unto thee."
White Auracite. But whence did it come?
To mine amazement, it lay hid amongst Moonbreeder's last effects. 'Twas but blind chance or providence that I did hap to spy it. Let no man claim that my late friend e'er erred for lack of foresight. In the place whither thou goest, servants of darkness do lie in wait. Pray, give unto me thy pledge that thou wilt strike them down and avenge our fallen comrade.
He really was close with Moonbreeder. Because he does mention her every once in a while. And from him, that's pretty big. And as for Estinian, you may not know it, but in real life I'm kind of like him. I'm very cynical, I'm stubborn, I'm kind of pessimistic, so I kind of feel kinship with him. I know not of the Archbishop and his knights save that which you have told me, but if they truly possess the power of the primals and the secrets of Azys Lla, they are dangerous foes indeed. We must spare no preparations. Maybe not kinship with the Stydian. He's more like my spirit animal. Let's just say that. That which man thinketh a trial in the having, he mourneth as a treasure in the losing. A tired platitude, but one which shall haunt me unto my dying day. He's really taking that hard. The revelations of recent days may have overturned the foundations of my faith, but my purpose remains unchanged, ending this damnable war. Do whatever you must needs to end my father's madness. May the Fury watch over you, my friend. Alright. Let us go. Let's go, Claire. Azys Lla waits. Okay, so this is going to be a series of cutscenes here. Oh. I'm dreading it. Because I gotta watch that scene over again.
Ah, excellent timing. We've just finished our work on the Enterprise. She's so much improved, I've decided to give her a new name to suit.
That's bad luck, isn't it?
The Enterprise Excelsior. Or simply the Excelsior if pressed for time.
Funny enough, they don't ever use the name.
Once again, she'll carry Eorzea's protectors into battle. All aboard!
I can do no more than see you off with prayers for your safety and success. Yet know that wheresoever you may go, my son's spirit goes with you. May the Fury grant you strength.
Return to us, all of you.
Enterprise Excelsior. Engage.
Hold on, take a picture of this. Everyone's seeing us off. That's a wonderful screenshot too. They're preparing for the worst.
This is it! Get ready!
Eye of mine enemy, render unto me thy power! No, you will not claim me. I am the master.
That is so cool. Okay, here it comes. I don't know why it's so satisfying.
through!
Here they come. They just have to make things even more difficult than they have to be, right? Just look at it. Oh, it's not even like a speck of dust compared to it.
Chief, we've got an Imperial battleship on our tail, and it's bleeding massive.
Damn it! The bastards were waiting for us to open the door for them.
Looking back, we probably should have realized that.
I'm gonna try to shake them. Hang on to something.
We're all going to die! Tataru!
She won't take much more of this!
Here it comes. Here it comes.
The time is come to use Hydaelyn's gift. Much blood has been spilled in my name. And for what? For a false cause that I created for want of the warmth of companionship. Saint Shiva, pray Svelga, pray forgive this fool. But even now, I cannot let go of my dream. My dream of a tomorrow in which no child need freeze alone in the snow.
She had the best of intentions, but she didn't have to. I don't care what anyone else says about her. She is amazing.
Thank you, Svelga.
Is that Azys? What does she mean to do?
O goddess, born of mine own hopes and dreams, for the last time, I beseech you, fill this vessel with your light, still the hatred within our hearts, and bless us with eternal grace!
Last time. But she's going out. She's going out on her terms. Because we got a primal on our side now. So elegant. I'm only sorry she didn't take the airship down with her.
Farewell, warrior of light, and thank you for showing me the way.
No!
Just kick us while we're down, why don't you?
This ether. It was a crystal of light. She, too, was one of Hydaelyn's chosen.
Fare you well, my lady.
And that was just with one crystal of light. What's going to happen when we use all of our crystals eventually? Because I bet that's going to be talked about in Endwalker 2. Oh, I'm sad. I really am sad now. I think we can go on a little bit longer, though. We've been not that long, so let's go ahead. So, can I believe she's gone? Though we walked all opposing paths, Ice Heart was a worthy woman. Her deeds will not soon be forgotten. The echo is a gift in a burdened boat, as you know only too well. Take on an Imperial battleship by herself. Primal or no, that took some courage. I wasn't afraid. Not in the least. Pardon? What smell? Oh god, someone spilled something down my trousers. Really? Really? I don't know about you, but I'm glad to be back on solid ground. Even if said ground is floating in the sky. When that Imperial battleship appeared, I honestly thought we were finished. And we would have been, had your friend not arrived when she did. 12th grant her mercy. Brief though our time together was, Azys was a true friend. A gentle soul who fought for her beliefs. She would have made a fine son. What is a sign but one who fights for our cause? Our hopes survive thanks to her sacrifice. Let that be enough. Yet I cannot help but wonder, how came she to know of our presence here? From Race Valgar, I would wager he will have felt my channeling of the Eye's power. It would seem that they were able to make peace with one another in the end. She gave her life because she believed in us. We owe it to her to see our mission through. Yeah, in Tales from the Dragon Song, hold on. See that dome-like structure further in? Let's make our way there. As I was saying, like in Tales of the Dragon Song stories that came out years ago, one of the stories actually touched upon that. It was Azel's story and everything that was going through her mind to the events leading up to her arriving here. And that she did go ahead and make peace with Race Valgar. If you haven't read it, you should go ahead and definitely do that. really touching moment. Okay. Aetheryte. That actually startled me to see other people. I don't know why. Sense an ominous presence. I think I know who that is. It's still active. All of it. Heavy though our hearts may be, we must forge on in the name of those we have lost. It is right. We owe it to Azys to see this mission through. Crikey, this place is like something out of my dreams. Or more like my nightmares. The Isles Sentinels don't seem to frequent this area. We should be safe here. Let's talk strategy, shall we? Okay, cinematic exploration, it says. It looks like a man with a plan. First of all, in the interest of efficiency, I suggest we make this place our base camp. We can coordinate the search for the Archbishop from here. I have no objections. Now that we stand upon Azys Lla, I'm struck by the vastness of the Isle. We must be methodical if we are to find our quarry. Good. Now, unless I'm mistaken, this used to be an airship landing, and a major one at that. From what I know of Allagan design, there should be a terminal nearby that's linked to the Isle's operational heart. If we can find such a terminal, we should be able to learn something of the Archbishop's whereabouts. Let's split up and look for it. Just looking around. The Empire borrowed most of its technology from Allagan relics. If we can find the terminal, I reckon we can operate it. Oh, Alphino. To think that such a massive structure had been floating above our heads for all these millennia. It beggars belief. Yeah, an entire island right above our heads. I mean, it's the same as the Sea of Clouds, though, and the Churning Mist, though, right? To say this landing could accommodate even a Ragnarok-class vessel. Remarkable. Oh, hello. This ominous presence. To whom does it belong? Yeah, it's no coincidence he's looking off in that particular direction. Machines are beyond my ken. I shall leave it to the others to find this terminal. More concern to me are the dragons that I sense nearby. Nothing? Damn it. There's just this terminal then, but it doesn't respond to anything I do. Any bright ideas, Wedge? Wedge? He was just here a moment ago. Oh, don't tell me he's wandered off. I'm sorry, Claire, but could you help me search for him? Absent-minded as he is, I worry that he's strayed beyond the landing area and has made friends with the local Sentinels. Alright, let's find him before he does something. Oh, he actually wandered off pretty far. Yeah, we can't fly yet, so we're just stuck running. Oh, right up there. Just trying to avoid the snapper rocks. Rook, snapper rook. Wedge, are you alright?
I'm fine, Chief. I just tripped, that's all.
Fool of a Lalafell, what were you thinking coming here on your own? Death by overwork is one thing, death by stupidity quite another. At least he has standards.
I'm sorry, Chief, but I think I found something.
What is this? The wreck of Excelsior?
This is no wreck, Chief. She's still operational. See?
Blip. Initiating. Performing diagnostics. Blip. Diagnosis complete. To proceed, please agree to the terms and conditions of use.
Okay. So even back then they had terms and conditions, I suppose?
Thank you. To register as a user, please state your name.
I'm Wedge, and that there is Claire.
Blip. User registration complete. Welcome to Azys Lla, Master Wedge and Mistress Claire. I am Guidance Node GLI.
Now isn't that just the cutest thing?
Blip. Greetings, Mistress Claire. Is there something you wish to know?
I'm sorry. I promise to be more careful from now on.
That fool of a Lalafell, always making us worry. And he's already gone and named the node. Can you believe it? I can. Hello, Sid. This isn't quite what I had in mind, but it might just serve. Wedge, bring the node this way, would you? There's something I'd like to try. Node, I need a status report on the facility.
Gilly, you have to do what the chief says.
I mean, if Sid just asked a little nicer, maybe he wouldn't have had trouble.
Yes, that's it. Good girl.
Ah, here we are. Not much of note. Here's someone recently reactivated Helix, which is in this area. Reactivated, you say? By the Archbishop, I'd wager. I dare say he woke up the place when he used the Vanu's key. Are there any other people in this facility? If so, where? Let's see here. On the flagship, that's the Central Isle, I'm seeing positive readings within the Etherochemical Research Facility and the Fractional Continuum. And what do we hear? Intruders detected in the Gamma Quadrant. Defense systems engaged. Our Imperial friends, I suspect. I hope they enjoy the defense system, but what of the Archbishop and his cronies? What might offer an indication? How about this? Which area is currently consuming the most energy? Some are called Triad Control inside the research facility. What manner of place is that? It is, and I quote, a regulation facility for the warring Triad test subjects. And that's all it says. The rest of the information is only accessible to users with consular privileges. Consular privileges. I mislike the sound of this, which leads me to believe that it is indeed the place. I'm inclined to agree with Y'shtola. Whatever it is that the Archbishop seeks, it is like to be there. It settles it then. Let's find a way to cross over to the flagship. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be heading off on this little journey across Azys Lla. There's about 5 different islands, including the main flagship in the center, so we're going to have to cross over all of them before we get to the flagship, which I think we should probably save for the next one. Okay, so we have the first ether current as well, so yeah, I think that right there is a good place to call it. So I just want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and hopefully by next episode we'll be able to complete probably unlocking the next dungeon. So we won't do the next dungeon next time, but we will unlock it, and then probably after that we will continue with the final trial and the last dungeon. So there's going to be at least 2-3 more episodes before we're done with Heavensward, which should be just in time for Endwalker. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Once again, this is Fantasy Girl, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. So bye-bye.